The splitter was scraping nicely. Welcome to one of the most anticipated videos by you guys, most likely, because today you will see a lap with Anton's new car, you can say. Well, not even new anymore, I mean... Renewed car, yeah. You've seen it previously when we already done a series of unveiling videos where we went through the details of how we built it brand new from a bare chassis and all the mods and everything. The main difference versus previous video is that it has Vulcan Alpha front splitter and canards and the DRS wing that we will tell you more in a bit. And later I will also take it out on a track day. Quick disclaimer, you might not believe it, but I'm very busy in my life. So I had only a chance to do like 2 laps with the car because I had to drive many other cars. And most importantly, big congratulations to Anton, who is about to become a dad.
Thank you so much.
And therefore it was more important that he gets as much time as possible to drive the car, and I didn't want to take this away from him because I know soon it will not be possible.
For real.
Therefore you will see, I think, like for a first lap, what the car is capable of is quite interesting. As mentioned, all the mods you can find out everything about in the previous videos. I think we also spoke about the front splitter with Lapo previously.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Yeah, in a little bit. First I want to hear from Anton, how do you like the car?
Now it's more stable, I would say. Still, the upgraded cars, it's a project that never ends, so I have a lot of plans.
Give us a teaser, what we're doing next year.
No teasers, you'll
No
just be
teaser.
surprised.
Lapo, give us a couple of more updates about the front splitter and lip, so like numbers and stuff.
So the plan was to make the car basically handle as a GT4 car, more or less. That was the objective. To do that, because the packaging is a bit different than a normal GT4 car, you have less room because the coolers are in a slightly different position. So we had to make it a bit more extreme. And also I like to have good styling compromised also together with that. So what I did is I did my normal package for, let's say, a Club Sport build, which is mild splitter, because it's still quite mild for what I want to do usually.
Pretty mild.
So it extends around 130 millimeters from the front leading edge of the bumper. Depends on the position. So here, of course, is a bit more, but this is about 130 millimeters. And because we have very, let's say, wide tire package, this whole system is meant to work to effectively clean up the airflow around the front tire. That basically helps create a very strong vortex that helps mitigate the problem with the mirrors and also for the rear tire wake, so it keeps everything very low. Ideally, with V2s, I'm not going to say nothing for now, but there's going to be some smaller elements to be added just to optimize even more. But just as a starter package, the whole front end is meant to work with our dual element wing. The end plates are, let's say, designed in a way that the front, let's say, turbulence was been kept as low as possible on the side of the car, but it was still a bit, let's say, intrusive to the side section of the wing. So what I did is, instead of opening and getting more air for the wing elements, I give it a bit of, let's say, turn-in vane at the front. So basically this tries to separate the small turbulence that's still happening in the back here, keep it on the side, and take as much clean airflow from the center top area of the roof. The wing is designed to work especially with this body design of car. So it's basically, in Italian it's called 3 volumes, because you have a front volume, a center volume, and a back volume. So you see it's a bubble. And the airflow is specifically designed to work with the airflow that goes around the car. So as you can see, the leading edge is basically in the direction of the airflow through the top. So if you see, let me see if I can do a representation, but the airflow comes up, there's some separation here, but it wants to go down and it hits directly in front of the, let's say, front leading edge of the wing. The secondary element, of course, it wouldn't work if you had just an element at this angle, so this is meant to help create the as much downforce from the lower element. So the top element helps create as much pressure differential through the two elements. And when it opens, it releases all the high pressure, so it virtually, let's say, stalls the wing because you have less pressure differential. Then of course we have the actuation system, which is all in one, and we have, I think I did a pretty good job on the covers from V1, which is over there. Well, you know, everything, it's
always an improvement.
It's an improvement. It's a product development, and this, I think, it's a really nice touch, and it keeps the weight really low because instead of having a bulky CNC piece, this covers the lines but keeps it quite lightweight.
Everyone wants to know the numbers.
It depends on ride height, top speed, and everything, so numbers are a bit misleading sometimes, but the overall max performance of the kit is 590 to 600 kilos overall.
At which speeds roughly?
That's above 280. So that 280, you're looking, then it depends on air density, elevation, and everything. So that's a bit, but rough numbers, 590, let's say 600 kilos.
Yeah.
Of course, if you go 300, 320, then it's going to be more. But roughly these cars see around a max speed. I mean, on the straight you went 300, I think.
Yeah, close. I didn't hit it yet, but close to it.
You could have gone.
Just to give a reference, so this is the wing and the front splitter. The GT3 RS, the 992, generates, I believe, 860 over the full car. But then you have, of course, also like the full front, you have the diffuser, you have many more aerodynamically enhanced elements. So I think this, just 200 less, it's not bad. Not bad.
It's a quite an aggressive wing element. It's a bit draggy, but thanks to the
DRS system,
you get the benefit of that.
Yeah. So can we quickly start it to show how it is working? It's a pneumatic activated system. So we press the button here, we calibrated it to be on the steering wheel here, so you press, it goes. And for many people who would be asking, the main question that we get, I want to give a couple of inputs on that as a driver, is people ask whether the system could be automated, because for example with GT3 RS it is semi-automatic. You can press it on the steering wheel and it will go open if you have certain parameters such as full throttle and the steering wheel needs to be pretty much straight. In our case it is, you need to press it and hold yourself openly. What you could do if you have an aftermarket ECU, you can calibrate it to be automatic or with certain limitations, but this is something we let the client or customer decide, because we don't want to deal, well, first of all, as a driver you want to be always in control, because sometimes it's wet, you might have a coolant spill, you might have a traffic ahead of you, so you do not want the wing just to simply do certain things. And because you do not want to do wing to do certain things, we let everyone else decide, because we don't want to say like, oh, your wing opened by itself and I crashed. No, you need to open it so you have like less downforce, let's call it this way. But you can calibrate it all by yourself if you have aftermarket ECU. Finally, the most important thing, does this work? Well, as mentioned, I had only 2 runs. On the first run, I kind of put the car into the red line on the 6th gear and put it in 7th. It took roughly 15 seconds for the car to reach from 200 to 290. Later with DRS open, we done 13 seconds. But I shifted too early to the 7th gear, so it could be faster. And as of now, because it's calibrated to the steering wheel, we realize that there's a limitation that when you hold the steering wheel button from the DRS open, you cannot upshift, so you need to release and do that, or otherwise you can also run in automatic mode. So this is something we need to like kind of...
It's just the limitation of this specific steering wheel.
Yes.
So you can find a way.
Of course. You can have an external button, but that was the idea, but we calibrated it for the steering wheel. And if you run it in automatic, because you run it mostly in auto mode.
90% I go automatic.
Yeah.
Like on Nordschleife, yes, like Grand Prix tracks I prefer manual.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, the difference is probably much higher. You can probably shave off another second at least from 200 to 290. So on lower speeds, the difference is probably, well noticeable. So definitely quite a big challenge. And does your wing work? Ask the trunk. Big disclaimer regarding that. we have, you probably have seen, because I'll make sure to publish that video first. We had another client of ours with much more bigger wing, but I think because it was single element, it generates similar amount of downforce.
It's slightly less, but the width of it and let's say chord length gives similar results.
Similar results, and the trunk held it out. However, regardless, so certain trunks can hold it out, certain not so much. Especially we need to mention that this trunk is from our flight from last year.
Yeah.
So
to be honest,
it held up pretty well.
Yes,
yes.
To take any doubts out, we developed a kit to brace and take the load from basically the trunk itself. That goes directly to the chassis. We didn't do it, we didn't have enough time to install it because everything is last minute, as always.
Exactly.
So much last minute, so we're gonna ship it directly to you.
Yeah.
Because Anton is leaving back home to his pregnant wife.
This is stress testing. That's
Exactly.
what it's not.
You can see it on the rear view camera how the wing is like. Yeah, it's really bending. So yeah. Anyway, for all the other mods, in case you missed the previous videos, what I want to mention, it has a Krapovich exhaust. Underneath, it has lots of KMP 24/7 performance and suspension secrets goodies to make it handle even better than it does. We have emotion wheels with 9 CRS tires, 315 on the rear, 295 on the front. By the way, also AP Racing Pro 5000R calipers or brake system on the back and on the front. Big thank you also to ISA Racing for supplying those. Moton 3-way adjustable suspension all around the car, of course. Lots of carbon fiber, Kevlar fiber. We have plastic for performance windows and tilt seats. So lots of weight reduction, carbon fiber, plastic, and you name it. It is a street chassis, so the normal chassis, not a GT4. So the funny thing is this car is on dry weight, it's 1500 kilos. Now maybe 1520. Yeah, 1520, also with the aero kit. The GT4 car is still about 30 kilos lighter because chassis is much lighter, also different subframes, and more importantly, also the windshield. Here it's stuck.
Important to note, I still have all the original wiring and harness, which is approximately 30 kilos of what's gonna go out from the car.
One thing we forgot to mention, the front splitter has titanium skid plates, which make very nice sparks. Lapo quickly gonna grab those. What I didn't mention also about the other mods, he has mentioned plastic, the weight, the engine is stock actually.
Stock at this point.
Nothing special. We have CSF cooling radiators, inventory intakes. We can quickly look underneath. It's turning out to be, quite a long video. So maybe actually the onboard lap we will include tomorrow, so you can watch this. Because also, there you go, titanium.
Stockish.
Yeah, and to question whether it actually works, you can have very nice sparks in the carousel. Big shout out to, again, 24/7 performance for lots of work and helping out with getting the parts at the beginning stage of the build, and also the setup. Looking forward to seeing you back next year with a child seat. So for now, enjoy this very first rollout on cold tires. It was still quite insane. Enjoy. All right, let's give it a go. What the brakes! The car is so much more stable since the last time I drove it. Woo-hoo. Cold tires, Misha, chill out. You don't need to catch the GT3. We have all the all the time in the world. Let's warm up those tires first. content is so phenomenal. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Okay, so there is a little calibration error. Apparently when you press DRS you cannot upshift, so... Oh! The grip. So much more turn in. We can pass on the right on the track day. Once 180 through the outside, insanity on the warm-up lap. No understeer, even on too hot tires. Oh, oil thing, maybe it's from yesterday's crash. Yeah. front of the car, always be cautious. Always be cautious. Who doesn't see you at all, at all. Now he sees you. While we're on the warm-up lap, let's try with DRS closed what speeds we're going to be getting. The splitter was scraping nicely.